Right, we sincerely apologize for that mix-up there. We will, of course, get to that much later. But for now, let's go to the United States, like Mike told you. While the three-day U.S. government shutdown has ended, as Senate Democrats reached an agreement to continue unsettled negotiations over an immigration program.
Yeah. Democrats demand for legislation protecting dreamers, young people brought to the country illegally as children. The Senate voted 81-18 to reopen funding for the federal government till February the 8th and allow thousands of federal employees to return to work.
Now, the bill then went to House, which passed it a vote of 288 to 150. Over the weekend, Republicans and Democrats blamed each other for the shutdown. The last shutdown in 2013 lasted for 16 days and had lasting effects on the economy. Global Affairs analyst Muyiwa Shobo is here with us to look at this. Good morning. It's good to see you.
Good morning.
Nice to see you.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Happy New Year. Oh, it's an old year already. Too many issues already. Okay, now let's talk about this whole U.S. government shutdown. What exactly is it all about? Let us understand what it means when we say there's a government shutdown.
You see, normally when in between budget, they have what they call the CR, continual resolution, to fund the government. And that, by law, that comes up once in a while to let the government keep on running. That must go through the House as well as the Senate. Now, the Senate, 60 votes is required, not to pass anything, but to stop debate, you see. And while debate is going, you cannot vote on anything. So it's a legislative maneuver when one party decides to filibuster. They call it filibuster.
Filibuster, yes.
That's when you filibuster, you just sit down there and argue a bill to death. They call it arguing a bill to death. You can bring a telephone book and start reading all the names in it forever. So, so whenever the vote comes on to end debate, you need 60 votes. And that's what they could not get to end that debate. And that's why that CR failed. And when that CR failed, that means the government was shut down because there's no money to fund the government. So it's not the vote really on that CR, but the vote to end debate. That's what caused all this problem.
Well, but this is not the first time there has been a government shutdown. It's been there in fact, it's been there all the while.
It's about the fourth in half a quarter of a century. So.
George Bush the senior had government shutdown at his time. Obama had government shutdown.
Over Obamacare.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We have it now. So, but what's the difference between what happened now and before? Is it just the usual politics between Democrats and Republicans?
The only difference, if you look at it, during the shutdown, during the Obama administration, that actually came from him. He was the one saying, look, we have to do this Obamacare. But this time, it's actually the Democrats saying that everyone, the president and the Republicans, must look at this DACA issue. Now, the problem is that the president, although he said he wanted to, he started it by ending the DACA renewal process.
Of course, DACA has to do with undocumented immigrants.
Yes, he just stopped that. So now, unless something is done with those kids who were brought into the country when they were very young, they could end up being deported. And that was a big issue for the Democrats. So when the president was not showing any direction, they'll meet with him, they reach an agreement, they'll come back and change it. That's why they had to go into and say, well, we're going to filibuster this CR, just to bring attention to this issue. And at the end of the day, they actually achieved, I read a lot of analysis that said the Democrats lost. I don't think so. But I think they achieved what they wanted, bringing attention to that DACA issue. Now they have a CR for about 2 or 3 weeks, and then the president said, well, we're going to resolve this DACA issue. But for him, it's not only a DACA issue. He wants to use DACA issue as a negotiating point for the wall that he wanted to build. And we all know that the Democrats are against the wall. Exactly. They will agree to border security, but to build a huge wall, which could cost a lot of money. I think last time they said 98 billion or something like that.
Of course, you remember before the election, he actually said that Mexico will pay for that wall.
And
he keeps repeating it.
Exactly.
He said directly or indirectly.
Somebody will say, well, but you said Mexico was going, we're not going to pay for it. Now it's the wall that's causing the shutdown. People are not just looking but beyond the DACA issue. So that is, seriously, I don't see how it will be resolved. If President Trump did not back down or negotiate on the wall, then the dreamers will be jeopardized.
About
700,000 and it's going to be very sad.
Of them. But isn't it strange that President Donald Trump, who himself is son of first-generation immigrants in the U.S. from Germany, would actually be championing this kind of cause? What exactly does it say?
It's ironic, isn't it? But you see, his base is pushing this. His base comprised of those red state folks who, look, if you've ever been in the United States,
who want America for Americans.
They just want America. They're nationalists. They want America. They're not thinking about what. If you look at the United States, every major development has been brought to that country by immigrants. There was news that 6 Nobel Prize winners last year, and they just want America. They're nationalists. They want America. They're not thinking about what. If you look at the United States, every major development has been brought to that country by immigrants. There was news that 6 Nobel Prize winners last year, and the United States were all immigrants. But they don't see that because that's not their own issue. Their issue is racism and, you know, Islamophobia or whatever they call it. But people are it's just people who are they like living within themselves. They think the United States is spreading itself. They don't believe in this global village. So they like their little life that they're living there, and those are the red states. But in between the red state folks, the core conservatives, the alt-right, you have the independents. Now, what the Democrats are trying to do is to move the independents to its side. And once that's done, you will see what happened in September. You probably have a tsunami in September.
Wow.
Well, political tsunami.
Now that the shutdown has been relaxed and there's some kind of understanding with a window to negotiate and all of that until about 8th of February. If by 8th of February there's no agreement on the negotiation,
we're going to go to another shutdown.
Wow.
It's just as simple as that. And so when you listen to Connell saying, well, we'll put this on the table, they have to. I don't see any option between the Democrats and the Republicans. They must resolve this issue within these 2-3 weeks. It has to be done. Otherwise, we're going to.
Donald Trump has always prided himself as a master of the deal, in the art of the deal. Is that what has played out in this case with his meeting with Chuck Schumer, the Democratic leader?
No, you know.
Or what exactly do you think is playing out? Because what he said in the wake of this relaxed, government shutdown, if I could put it that way, is that now Democrats have come to their senses now.
Well, you see, he is saying that because he's failing as a leader. It's just an excuse. The president's supposed to take leadership role in this. He's the president. He's not supposed to just say, okay, bring anything to my desk and I'll sign it. He's failing as a leader, and he's going back to the notorious aspect of his life about being a deal maker, which was a build-up anyway, which was a fictitious, it was a fiction of himself that he built up to get all this wealth and build all this building that I can make any deal. It's different when you're making deals regarding real estate. It's about money. You know, you give me this, I give you that, and make profit here, we share, we split profit. But here, people's lives are at stake. You do not play deal making with people's lives. And people are going to, the US citizens are going to realize that. And they're going to punish him for it because you're playing with people's existence. Look at the shutdown for 2 days or 3 days. Federal government workers, and I experienced that before when I was working for the company. You know, you're thinking, there's not going to be salary tomorrow. Because of what? Because you want to be playing deal making. So it's a serious matter for him. He's not realizing it yet. He's been backed by all these alt-right people. Steve Miller, or whatever his name, in the White House, that young 32-year-old, who all of a sudden now knows everything about immigration. And that is going to play hard against the Republicans. And they know it, because the independents for voters are serious about this. They don't want these kids deported. 700,000 of them, just throw them to, they don't know any country. They don't know any other country apart from the United States.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because they came in when they are 2, 3 years old, and then you just want to jeopardize them. And they are teachers, they are doctors, they are all over the place. So it's a serious thing for the Democrats to focus on, and I think they've been successful in doing that. For the Republicans, it's going to come back to bite them.
Now, when it comes to a government shutdown, like it's been calling, give us a mind picture, really. What impact does it have on the government or the economy or those who are employed and all of that? What's the direct impact on the people?
It's serious, because like I said, they call it, when you get furloughed over there, they call it furloughed, F-U-R-L-O-U,
yes.
Which means you are temporarily stopped from going to work. And if you know that most Americans, they're just about 2 paychecks, which they get paid every other week, 2 paychecks from being homeless or from poverty. When you miss 1 week, it's a big deal. You know, it affects your children, it affects the family. If you know you can't go to the hospital if you're sick, and the psychological effect, apart from the economy, is big, with its uncertainty of it all. You know, so, and of course, they know they have that political power. They don't forget things like that. Every president that goes into shutdown will pay for it. They're not gonna. It's not the Congress that's gonna pay for it. It's Donald Trump, because he's the leader. He doesn't know it yet because he's so laid back when it comes to governance. He's not seeing that yet. But
yes, of course, Donald Trump will pay for it politically,
yes.
or is most likely to pay for it politically. But for the ordinary American, who really is the loser here when government shuts down, even if it's for just a few hours?
Everyone is a loser. They all lose. The citizens, the politicians, because money is not flowing. The military, folks who are overseas defending the nation, the uncertainty of it. So everyone loses. There's no reason for the government to shut down. If both parties can sit down and work something, the only problem is that Donald Trump is not willing to negotiate. And that is the problem. Donald Trump loses, the Congress, the Republicans, they'll lose, Democrats, well, it's a no-win situation when the government shuts down for anyone.
All right. We have to leave it here now. Miwa Shovo, thank you so much for coming on the program.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Right.